Sarcosuchus, one of the largest and most powerful crocodiles ever to exist. This prehistoric beast is often referred to as the SuperCroc, and for good reason. It was huge, had an incredibly powerful bite, and was an apex predator that ruled the rivers and lakes where it lived. But what exactly was Sarcosuchus? How did it live, and how did it die? And why should we care about this ancient crocodile today? Join me as we take a look at the anatomy of a giant, the life and death of an apex predator, and the impact that Sarcosuchus had on its environment. Let's start with the basics. What was Sarcosuchus? To answer that question, let's go back in time to the Cretaceous period, when it roamed what is now North Africa some 90 million years ago. During the Cretaceous period, the Earth's climate was much warmer than it is today, which led to the formation of vast swampy areas in many parts of the world. These swamps were home to a variety of prehistoric creatures, including dinosaurs, but none more fearsome than Sarcosuchus. Sarcosuchus was a type of crocodilian, which means that it was related to modern-day crocodiles and alligators. However, unlike its modern-day relatives, Sarcosuchus was truly gigantic. It could grow up to 13 meters long and weigh over 1,000 kilograms, making it one of the largest crocodiles that ever existed. Its body was massive, with a long, powerful tail that it used to propel itself through the water with ease. Its jaws were also incredibly strong, with teeth as long as daggers, perfect for catching and holding on to prey. Now that we know what Sarcosuchus was, let's take a closer look at its anatomy. One of the most striking features of Sarcosuchus was its size. As we mentioned earlier, it could grow up to 13 meters long, which is longer than a Tyrannosaurus rex. Its enormous size made it a formidable predator, allowing it to take down prey that was much larger than itself. But Sarcosuchus wasn't just big. It was also built for speed and agility. Its long, powerful tail was perfect for maneuvering through the water, and its legs were short but sturdy, allowing it to move quickly on land. But what about its skull? Well, that was truly a sight to behold. Sarcosuchus had a long, narrow skull that was filled with sharp as daggers teeth. Its teeth were not only used for catching prey, but also for crushing bones and tearing through flesh. Its skull was also decorated with bumps and ridges that made it look like something out of a nightmare. So what did Sarcosuchus eat? Well, it was an apex predator, which means that it was at the top of the food chain. It fed mainly on fish, but it was also known to hunt and kill other large animals such as dinosaurs and other crocodiles. Its diet varied depending on where it lived and what was available, but it was not afraid to take on any challenge. Now that we know what Sarcosuchus ate, let's talk about how it hunted. Sarcosuchus was an ambush predator, which meant that it relied on stealth and power to catch its prey. It would lie in wait and then strike with lightning speed when its target was within reach. Its powerful jaws allowed it to clamp down on its prey, and its sharp teeth ensured that it would not escape. Sarcosuchus was also known to use its tail to great effect, using it to stun and disorient its prey before delivering the fatal bite. Now that we understand how Sarcosuchus hunted, let's take a look at its life cycle. Like all crocodiles, Sarcosuchus was a cold-blooded reptile, which meant that it relied on the sun to regulate its body temperature. It spent much of its time basking in the sun and would often be seen lounging on river banks. Sarcosuchus was also a very solitary creature, only coming together with other Sarcosuchus during mating season. When it came to mating, Sarcosuchus were not exactly the most romantic of creatures. The male would approach the female and then basically force her into submission. Once the eggs were laid, the male would guard the nest until the babies hatched. Speaking of babies, Sarcosuchus gave birth to live young, a process also known as viviparity. This is in contrast to most other reptiles which lay eggs. Viviparity is relatively rare in reptiles and is thought to have evolved independently in different groups several times. Some researchers believe that viviparity may have evolved in Sarcosuchus as a way to protect their offspring from predators. By giving birth to live young, Sarcosuchus could keep their babies safe inside their bodies until they were ready to be born. This may have been particularly important for Sarcosuchus since they were such large and obvious prey items themselves. Additionally, viviparity allows for a more stable internal environment for the developing embryos, protecting them from the potentially harsh external conditions. As we delve deeper into the life of Sarcosuchus, it's important to consider the environment in which it lived. Sarcosuchus inhabited the rivers and lakes of North Africa during the Cretaceous period. This region was part of the Tethys Ocean, a vast body of water that covered much of the Earth's surface during the Mesozoic era. The waters in which Sarcosuchus lived were warm and shallow, teeming with fish and other aquatic life. These waters were also home to a variety of dinosaurs, including the famous Spinosaurus, who was arguably its rival. Speaking of rivals, let's talk about the relationship between Sarcosuchus and other animals. As we mentioned earlier, Sarcosuchus was an apex predator, which meant that it was at the top of the food chain. It had no natural enemies, but there were definitely some animals that were capable of putting up a fight. For example, Sarcosuchus was known to battle with other large crocodiles, and there are even some accounts of Sarcosuchus fighting dinosaurs. These battles were epic showdowns between two of the most powerful creatures of their time. And while Sarcosuchus usually came out on top, it is not uncommon to see scars and injuries on fossils that suggest a life full of close calls. Now let's take a closer look at one of Sarcosuchus's most famous rivals, the Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus was another large carnivore that lived in North Africa during the Cretaceous period. It was a type of theropod dinosaur, which means that it was related to Velociraptor and Tyrannosaurus rex. Unlike Sarcosuchus, Spinosaurus was primarily a land-based predator, but it was still a formidable opponent. These two creatures were often seen battling it out in the shallow waters where Sarcosuchus lived, and it's believed that their fights often ended in a draw. Okay, so now that we know about Sarcosuchus's rivals, let's talk about its popularity in pop culture. Sarcosuchus has appeared in a number of films and TV shows, most notably the BBC documentary Planet Dinosaur. In this documentary, Sarcosuchus is brought to life through CGI, and we get to see what it would have looked like in its natural habitat. We also learn more about its hunting style and its interactions with other creatures. Sarcosuchus has also appeared in other media, including books and video games. Its imposing presence and fierce reputation make it a popular choice for those looking to add a little prehistoric terror to their stories. Conclusion: Sarcosuchus was a truly remarkable creature. Its enormous size, powerful jaws, and ruthless hunting style made it one of the most feared predators of its time. But despite its ferocity, Sarcosuchus was an integral part of its ecosystem, helping to keep the populations of fish and other animals in check. Unfortunately, Sarcosuchus didn't survive the mass extinction event that marked the end of the Cretaceous period. But thanks to its fossilized remains, we can still learn about this amazing creature today. Sarcosuchus may have been the SuperCroc of its time, but it's also a reminder of the incredible diversity of life that has existed on our planet. So the next time you hear someone say that crocodiles can't smile, you'll know that they're wrong. Just ask any paleontologist, and they'll tell you that Sarcosuchus had a smile that could strike fear into the heart of any living thing. Thanks for joining us on this journey through time. We hope you learned something new and maybe even discovered a passion for prehistoric creatures like Sarcosuchus. Remember, the world was a very different place 90 million years ago, but thanks to fossils and scientific research, we can catch a glimpse of what life was like back then. So keep learning, keep exploring, and who knows what amazing discoveries you might make.